What's up, guys? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a company that I think could see their stock price more than triple or even quadruple over the next couple of years. I'm super excited about this company. I think they've got a very bright outlook, and I think they're still kind of flying under the radar. Now, there are some pros and cons to this stock, and there are some things to consider. We're going to talk about both of those items here in this video. We're going to be talking a little bit about why I invested in this company and whether or not you should as well, based on some of the facts that I'm going to lay out here in this video. Let's jump into it. So the company that we're talking about here today is CuriosityStream. This is a streaming platform that has been around for a couple of years and it has a lot of really good things going for it. It is going to be competing with the likes of Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or a lot of these other streaming services that are already out there. However, there is one thing that sets this company apart, and that's the fact that they specialize in nonfiction, documentary type style videos that are more educational than just what's traditionally shown on Netflix or Hulu, for instance. This is a very crowded space as it is, but I don't know about you guys. One of the things that I've noticed about myself is that, look, I've got all the streaming services. They're relatively cheap compared to like a cable subscription service. So I've got all of the services. I've got Netflix, I've got Hulu, I've got Disney Plus. I'm sure my wife has other ones. We've got Amazon Prime. I mean, we've got everything that we need to basically watch any show that we want. My wife and I don't watch any news channels or just traditional cable television because, I mean, who's got time for that anymore, right? Well, I recently added this one to our profile because it is extremely cheap, which we're also going to talk about here in a little bit. Now, as it is, I don't watch a ton of TV anyway, but when I do, I generally try to watch stuff that's a little bit more educational than just something that I can escape into, after a long day of work, right? If I'm going to watch something, if I'm going to spend my valuable time watching that type of video, I would at least like it to be something that's entertaining and educational so I can learn about something new. That's just kind of my personality, and I want to be a lifelong learner. It's something I always want to do. If I'm going to spend my time doing something, I want it to at least be educational and to add value to my life rather than take it away. So that being said, I do think there's quite a big opportunity for this company to break into the space because there is a demand for this type of content out there. Look at a lot of these different documentary type videos that are already seeing massive success, right? Think about Planet Earth. David Attenborough does a fantastic job narrating these videos. He's got notoriety around the world, and he's very well known for these types of documentaries that he's put out. These are always blowouts when they do come out, and everybody seems to love them. Well, now talk about a streaming service that focuses particularly on these types of videos, right? These nonfiction documentary type videos that are going to be very informative for the general public. So I think there's a big opportunity for that. Now, obviously not everyone's going to be a huge hit like Planet Earth, but there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of demand for this type of service. Like I mentioned, I just started my subscription yesterday and was taking a look through their library. They've actually got a lot of really interesting looking titles about, different parts of the world, the ocean, the space, I mean, everything you can think of, anything nonfiction documentary type style, they've got at least something to kind of fit into that category. So I'm really excited to start watching some of their shows. And the price that I want to talk about with this particular company, the price for this subscription is actually extremely cheap. I signed up for a 1-year subscription and it cost me $12. That's $1 a month, which is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if they're doing some type of holiday sale right now or what it was, but it looks like the normal price is generally $20 for a yearly subscription, which is still super cheap. I mean, Netflix, I think for their premium Netflix account is like $14 a month or something. So the fact that you can get into this company and get a yearly subscription for $20 or right now $12, that's absolutely phenomenal pricing, and it makes it so cheap that like really there's no reason you shouldn't sign up. Even if you only watch a couple of shows, it's still going to be money well spent. In my opinion, I think they should increase their subscription service to, $29.99, $39.99 for a year. If it were at these numbers, I don't even think I'd bat an eye because that just seems to be the going rate for this. Even for the cheaper prices for Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or any of these other streaming services, they still come in more expensive than what CuriosityStream is offering. Now, one other thing I want to talk about before we actually take a look at the stock itself, where it's at and where I think it's going, I do want to mention that one of the interesting things about this is that the owner is John Hendricks. If you don't know, I didn't know this, so I'm not saying like, you should just know who this guy is, but after doing a little research, he's actually the founder of the very popular TV channel, Discovery Channel, right? Discovery Channel was founded years and years ago, and it had a long history of being one of the top performing channels. Now, obviously, it went from Discovery Channel and kind of evolved into more of this like reality type TV show nonsense stuff that you're not really maybe interested in. I think it kind of moved away from like what the channel was originally supposed to be. But I mean, nevertheless, this guy knows how to build a successful TV platform, right? If he can build Discovery Channel, there's a good chance he knows what he's doing when it comes to making this transition into the streaming services. He founded this company back in 2015, and I think going back that far shows that he saw the power of what the world is transitioning to and said, hey, I need to hedge my bets. I need to get into this streaming platform space so I can be ready when the the world makes this transition, we're going to be properly poised to be able to take advantage of it. Starting in 2015, the market looked vastly different. I mean, Netflix was not as popular as it is today, and CuriosityStream was poised just to launch at the right time to be able to build up and get a library of videos and shows and movies lined up so that people actually have something to watch when they join the service. So obviously that's one thing I really like about this company is it's founded and run by somebody who's done it in the past. They know what they're doing and they have a great success and track. So obviously I love the fact that this company is founded by somebody who has been in this space before in kind of the previous world, if you will, of what TV was like, 15, 20, 30 years ago. And they found success there. And now they're transitioning into this. And I believe that they're going to have success in this space as well. This isn't just another company that's trying to compete with Netflix. This isn't Hulu trying to compete with Netflix. I think the fact that they are producing these nonfiction type documentaries, I think they're going to see more success because they're in this very niche market that a lot of people are interested in. Yeah, they're not going to have massive sales revenues. They're not going to hit the total addressable market, if you will, like Netflix would, just because Netflix covers such a wide range of shows. But I do think that CuriosityStream has the ability to break into this market and be a successful and profitable company, given how much demand there is out there for this type of unique content. Now, with that being said, let's actually jump here into my computer on the Webull platform, which, by the way, if you haven't gotten your free stocks with Webull, make sure to use the link in the description to sign up. If you sign up using the link in the description, you're going to get 4 free stocks valued up to at least $21. That's at least a 21% return on your money after you deposit $100 into your account. So with that, let's jump into this here. Let's take a look at CuriosityStream. Their ticker symbol is CURI, and their stock has been on a massive tear over just the last couple of weeks. I think it's finally getting some notoriety in the market, and this is something that I wanted to jump in on early because I think there's a huge potential for where this will go in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, and of course over the next couple of years as they continue to grow their business. I think this is the best way for them to get notoriety in the market, to get known, because a lot of people have never heard of this. I'd never heard of this until I just happened to come across it on the internet the other day. So this is something that I think there's going to be a lot of hype around, and I think a lot of people will be buying into it and will push the value of this company up, and it will also help their revenues as people pile in and say, hey, what's this all about? What do I need to know? So let's take a look at this and actually zoom in here. Let's go to the daily view of the stock price. You can see that back here in early December, I mean, there was a little spike back here. They were up at, 1050 on the share price, and then it kind of just slowly sold off. Nobody was really buying, a lot of red days here. And then it hit a low of 869 here on December 9th. And since then, the stock has climbed massively. I mean, jumping up to this $10 mark for a couple of days, jumping up again to this $13 to $14 mark, trading sideways a little bit before exploding again today, sitting at $16.66, up 1.43% on the day. Absolutely great news when it comes to the stock symbol. I think this is going to give it a lot of future potential. We'll see. Now, if we jump over to Google, just because the information is a little bit easier to see here, the market cap is $669 million as of right now. This is extremely small when it comes to the world of actual streaming services. Just for instance, let's take a look at Netflix stock and look at this here. Their market cap is $230 billion. Now, of course, Netflix is the absolute behemoth in this space. I'm not saying that CuriosityStream is going to be the next Netflix. I'm not saying they're ever going to be on that level. I just don't know that there's a big enough market for that type of content. Who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it is out there. I do think there's demand for it, but they don't need to get to $230 billion to be successful. I mean, even if CuriosityStream can get to, let's say, $2 billion, that's going to be that 3x number that I was talking about. Let's say they get to 5 billion, that's almost 10x. Let's say they get to 10 billion, that's almost 20x where they're currently at. And I think there's a lot of future potential for this company to succeed massively in this space if they can grow that high. I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that they don't need the revenue or the financials to support that valuation, but I do think it's possible. I think that as they continue to add more shows to their library and more people buy into the service as prices go up, which they naturally will, just like every other streaming service has had prices go up, I do think there's potential for CuriosityStream to see their share price go up as well. Okay, I actually want to talk a little bit more about where CuriosityStream is at and where I think the share price could actually go over the next couple of years. To do this, I'm going to compare it to Netflix. Now, I'm not saying that this company is going to be the next Netflix, but I do think that it shows the potential for this market and what opportunities are out there. So I'm not saying they're going to grow to that level. I'm not going to say that they're kicking Netflix out of their spot or anything like that, but I'm just showing that, hey, there is a large runway for this company to work with. That being said, Right now, CuriosityStream is said to have about 13 million paying subscribers compared to roughly 183 million that Netflix has at the moment. This data is as of April of 2020, and I would not be surprised to see that Netflix numbers have increased because everybody's been stuck at home for the last couple of months. So if Netflix's numbers have increased, I think that CuriosityStream's numbers will increase as well, and I think they've got the ability to again increase worldwide. They're in over 175 countries right now, and so there's a large opportunity for people to subscribe to the service who don't live in the United States, right? I think sometimes we as investors get so focused on what's happening here in the United States, but in the grand scheme, the United States is pretty small when it comes to the overall world population. So I think there's still a lot of opportunity for that. That being said, Netflix has a $231 billion market cap right now, which is absolutely massive. One of the biggest companies in the entire world. CuriosityStream is sitting at $660 million market cap. That means that the market cap of CuriosityStream is 1/350th of what Netflix has. So they've got 1/10 of the subscribers. Yes, they're not bringing in as much revenue because their cost of their subscription is so much lower, but they've got 1/10 of subscribers, but their share price is 1/350th of what Netflix has. Just think about that for a minute. Pretty powerful stuff, right? One other thing that I absolutely love about it is that John Hendricks, the founder of the company, is buying up shares left and right. He's had some major purchases of the company stock in early December, and he bought up massive amounts of these shares. This is a good sign for investors because it says, look, he believes in this company. He's going to stick around. He's investing more of his own money into the company to be able to grow it further. And of course, capitalize on the wealth that he's going to see increase from doing this if he finds out that this company is going to be successful. So he believes in it. That also gives me some faith saying, hey, look, these guys believe in it. I'm also going to believe in it a little bit more just because of that fact. Now, there were some other things that I found while doing some research that I thought were really interesting that you guys would want to know as well. Their documentaries are much cheaper to produce and have higher margins compared to how many viewers they actually get and what they associate, the value of that viewer and what they paid to actually watch that show. When you compare to other things like, let's say, some of the popular shows on Netflix, some episodes of Netflix, like Stranger Things, for instance, is rumored to cost between $6 to $8 million per episode, which is absolutely crazy when you really think about it. Some of these documentaries that are coming up on CuriosityStream can see major success and might only cost a couple $100,000 to actually produce. So when you've got this wide gap in the market, you're going to see a lot more profitability and margin on some of the documentaries that they're producing on CuriosityStream. The company's also growing extremely rapidly. They're in over 175 countries. They have over 3,000 titles in their library right now, and they expect to be over 11,000 in the next couple of years. They're also putting in long-term deals in place for different universities and schools out there, and I think this is actually a big market. One thing I was thinking about last night when I was thinking about this company is, look, when you get into schools, you've got a very unique opportunity to get your content out there on different types of licensing deals. Now, I don't know the inner workings of how those deals work, but just think about like Bill Nye, for instance, right? Everybody remembers watching those Bill Nye shows in elementary school. Well, that made Bill Nye absolutely famous, and it made him a lot of money. If CuriosityStream can get into this market, they can get into universities with educational content, and then who knows, maybe they get into elementary schools or middle schools or high schools, and they can license their products to these different school districts. I think there's a big opportunity for that as well. It's just going to get the name out there. It's going to help bring in more revenue, and it's going to help give more notoriety to this brand. Okay, now let's talk about some of the downsides. Well, they do have cash on hand. They did go public via a merger earlier this year, so they've got some cash on hand for that. However, they are not profitable yet, and they are burning money trying to get their name out there, trying to produce more titles for their library, and trying to just grow this company, right? So they're not yet profitable, and they're not expected to be profitable in 2021. I don't know if it's going to be 2022, maybe 2023 before they start turning over some significant numbers for profitability. But again, keep in mind they're in this growth stage. If they can get from 13 million subscribers to 30 million subscribers and they increase their prices during that time, there's a good chance they really could become profitable fairly quickly. Some other stats that I want to point out about this is that in Q3 of 2020, revenue was $8.7 million, which is up 82% year over year. That indicates massive growth because they're getting their name out there and they're getting people to renew their subscriptions as well. In that time, their gross margin also increased from 59% to 61%. This is good because it also shows that they're learning how to be more efficient with producing the content that they're putting out there. And last but not least, they do only have a couple of analysts covering the stock, but they are expecting that revenue to almost double in 2021 as well, going from 39.64 million to roughly 72 million in 2021. I would not be surprised to see them crush that number personally and bring in somewhere between 75 and $80 million in revenue in 2021. I think they're going to get the brand awareness that they need, and I think think they're going to see this massive push for their low-cost subscription in 2021. Like I said, a lot of people have not yet heard about this company, and I think that as they continue to grow, it's going to go exponential in the amount of subscribers that they get. A lot of people, even myself included, I just signed up for this. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. This seems like an interesting company. I can get a year subscription for $12. This is a no-brainer. I just signed up before I really even knew much about the company, and then I started looking into it much deeper, looking at the filings, looking at the financials. I mean, everything that I could find out there, I was trying to get information on. So I've subscribed for it and just signed up right away, and I think other people will do the same once they actually know that this is out there. As a company continues to grow, I think there's a massive potential for this company to 3, 4, maybe even 5x over just the next couple of years, which is going to produce a great return on your money. That being said, I will make the disclosure that I did buy into this company at roughly $14 a share a couple of days ago, and I did buy in more earlier today, buying in with some regular shares as well as some of the company's warrants to be able to maximize the profit and returns that I'm hoping to see on this company's share price. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, give me a thumbs up here on the video. Consider sharing it with a friend or family member who also might be interested in this company and might be wanting to learn more about CuriosityStream. Nevertheless, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this company, whether they're going to go bankrupt, whether they're going to succeed. I want to know everything you have to say about this company and what you think it will do. Last but not least, don't forget to get your free stocks down in the description below using the Webull link, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.